All right, I'm ready.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Emmett Brown. I'm standing on the parking lot at Twin Pines Mall. It's Saturday morning, October 26, 1985, 1:18 a.m. And this is temporal experiment number 1. Come on, Einie. Hey, boy, get in there. That a boy. In you go. Get down. Get your seatbelt on. That's it.
Whoa. Okay.
Please note that Einstein's clock is in precise synchronization with my control watch. Got it?
Right, check, Doc.
Good. Have a good trip, Einstein. Watch your head.
You got that thing hooked up to the car?
Watch this.
Yeah, okay. Got it.
Not me. The car. The car. If my calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit. Watch this, watch this. What did I tell you? 88 miles per hour! The temporal displacement occurred at exactly 1:20 a.m. and 0 seconds!
Doc, what the heck was that?
Calm down, Marty. I didn't disintegrate anything. The molecular structure of both Einstein and the car are completely intact.
Where the hell are they?
The appropriate question is, when the hell are they? You see, Einstein has just become the world's first time traveler. I sent him into the future. 1 minute into the future, to be exact. And at precisely 1:21 a.m. and 0 seconds, we shall catch up with him and the time machine.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
The way I see it, if you're going to build a time machine into a car, why not do it with some style? Besides, the stainless steel construction made the flux dispersal. Look out!
Doc?
Huh, that's peculiar.
Where's the car, Doc?
It should have caught up with us 27 seconds ago.
Doc, what happened to Einstein?
No need for concern. It's probably just a minor miscalibration of the time circuits. Marty, could you get my notebook? It should be in the toolbox.
Notebook. Got it. Flux capacitor?
That's it!
What the heck's a flux capacitor?
My latest invention. The thing that makes time travel possible. In this notebook, I've detailed the nearly 3 decades of scientific breakthroughs necessary to build a working time machine. If it ever fell into the wrong hands, the consequences could be catastrophic. Let's see. It's mass equals I times Z, and E equals the square root of Z times C squared, and the flux dispersal rate is inversely proportional to the 4th root of N, carry the 9, then...
Doc, shouldn't we get out of here before the Libyans show up?
Great Scott!
Doc, what is it?
I've made a horrible mistake!
Doc! Doc, no!
I'm sorry, Marty.
Doc, come back! Doc! Doc!
Marty, is everything okay?
Yeah, Mom, it was just a nightmare. I was in the past, and Doc was there.
Well, you're safe and sound now, back in good old 1986. But you'd better get up. Your father's waiting for you.
Huh?
Weren't you going to meet him over at Doc's?
Holy crap, I'm late! Dad, are we too late to stop the sale?
Better late than never. You wouldn't believe how much rare stuff there is back here.
That's Doc's stuff. The city has no right to...
Now, son, I know you're upset, but your friend's been gone for months, and the city really seems hell-bent on using his land for that new parking garage. And, hey, is that a first edition Jules Verne?
It's just not fair. But at least things can't get any worse.
Hey, Marty.
Hi, Biff.
Come to see if the old crackpot had any buried treasure?
Nah, I guess I'm just... remembering. I miss Einstein. A fish tank? I never knew Doc raised fish. Doc's fish had weird taste in decor. Kind of like Doc.
Does nature contrive it so that even with a time machine, you can intervene to prevent your own conception, for example?
Hey, Dad. Who's running this sale anyway?
Oh, that'd be me, son.
You? Why?
Well, once it became apparent that the bank was going through with the sale, I volunteered to oversee it in order to make sure that Doc's stuff would be treated with a modicum of respect. Isn't that right, Biff?
You got it, Mr. McFly.
I'm telling you, this sale is a joke. Doc's only been gone for a few months, and I happen to know...
Yes, you've told us he's not dead. He's on a trip. Let's say you're right. Have you considered that this trip may not have been entirely voluntary? I hate to say it, but Doc's run up some pretty sizable debts around town. Maybe he's just hiding from his creditors.
You got Doc wrong. Sure, maybe he's not so good with money. That's just because his mind's always on bigger things. But he's still a straight-up guy. He'd never run away from his problems.
Well, you know him better than I do, son, but the bank is within its rights to sell off his stuff. Maybe you should try to find some things to remember him by before Biff grabs them all.
What's Biff doing here? He wasn't a friend of Doc's.
It's a public sale, Marty. Everyone's allowed. Even Biff.
Do you think dreams can predict the future?
Well, you know I don't go in for that mystical stuff, but I do think they can reflect how you're feeling about the future. What did you dream?
Oh, just weird stuff about Doc.
Well, that's understandable, don't you think?
I guess, but I feel like it was telling me something. You got Doc wrong. Sure, maybe he's not so good with money. That's just because his mind's always on bigger things. But he's still a straight-up guy. He'd never run away from his problems.
Well, you know him better than I do, son, but the bank is within its rights to sell off his stuff. Maybe you should try to find some things to remember him by before Biff grabs them all.
I'll keep looking around. Thanks, Dad. It took me forever to repair this thing after I blew it out last time, and now some jerk's gonna pick it up for pennies. Hey, Biff.
Oh, hi, Marty.
What are you doing here?
Well, I was as bummed as anybody to hear that the old nutcase had kicked it.
He's not.
But I'm not above picking through the remains. You know what they say. Don't look a gift horse in the butt.
Doc's not dead, you know. He's still around.
Oh, really? Do you see him around here?
I'm looking for something, in particular.
Yeah? Something valuable?
Never mind. Hope that wasn't poison gas or anything.
Hey, let me try, Marty.
Now, Biff, let Marty have his turn.
You got it, Mr. McFly. Enough of that junk.
Now, Biff.
Sorry, Marty.
Feels like that was a lifetime ago. Actually, I guess it was. Doc built this model at downtown Hill Valley way back in 1955. The clock tower in the courthouse even works. What the? Is that Doc's notebook in there?
Hey, that looks just like the courthouse. You gotta hand it to the old coot. He was good with his hands.
Biff, can I see that a minute?
This would look great in my fish tank. Give the old carp something new to nibble on.
You know, you and my folks go way back.
Yeah? So?
So how about letting me have that model courthouse, for old time's sake?
I think I'll keep it.
Give it here, Biff.
Looks like plans for something. What's a flux catheter?
It's none of your business. Doc asked me to...
Brown's worm food, kid. But this looks like it might be worth something.
Seems kinda empty without the courthouse.
Enough of that junk.
Now, Biff.
Sorry, Marty.
Hey, Biff. I only want that notebook because, well, I'm sentimental. It's like a piece of Doc.
Doc's dead. Time to get over it and move on.
It's just a notebook with Doc's scribblings. What did Doc ever accomplish?
Nothing.
Then it's worthless, right?
If it was really worthless, you wouldn't want it so bad.
I just can't let you keep that notebook. It's dangerous.
What, is it set to explode or something?
Well, in a way.
I'll take my chances.
That notebook wouldn't mean anything to you. You wouldn't even understand what's in it.
You calling me ignorant?
I'll pay you for it.
How much? Not enough.
Never mind. Looks like a hand crank lightning rod, or maybe a lightning powered pencil sharpener. Let's make some noise. Hey, Dad, why's my guitar got a price tag on it?
Sorry, son. Must have been an overzealous clerk. Just pick it up. I'll iron things out with the bank.
I better not crank it up anymore. I really don't want to blow this thing out again. It took me forever to repair this thing after I blew it out last time, and now some jerk's gonna pick it up for pennies. Here's an oldie, but a goodie. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, look! It's Chuck Butthead. Let me show you how it's done.
Now, Biff, I think that's Marty's guitar.
Oh, gosh. You're right, Mr. McFly. Oh, here you go, Marty. Let's hear a few licks. Man, you kids have ruined rock and roll.
And now, something your kids are really gonna like.
Thanks for warming them up for me, Butthead.
Biff, I thought I told you not to take my son's guitar.
Oh, right. Sure thing, Mr. McFly. I was just warming them up for you, Marty. Let's see what you got. Man, you kids have ruined rock and roll.
Now that is a dangerous amp. Hey, Dad. That notebook is Doc's legacy. I've got an obligation to protect it.
Now, hold on a minute. Didn't you just get done telling me Doc's still around? Off traveling somewhere?
Yeah?
Then how is it your obligation to protect his legacy? You can't have it both ways, Marty. If Doc's alive, he can protect his own legacy.
About Biff. Dad, I know you're trying to help.
He talks a big game, son, but he's not so tough. I've been dealing with him a long time. Believe me, I can handle him.
So can I.
I guess you can. Okay, son, I'll stay out of your way. But you know where to find me.
I'll keep looking around. Thanks, Dad. Hey, Biff. Never mind.
You want to hear a number by Biff and the Biff Tones? Always happy to play for my adoring fans. Now watch me blow the lid off this joint.
Whatever you say. Rock on, Biff.
Oh, shit.
Doc, where are you? Doc? Einstein! Where do you come from, boy? Didn't you bring Doc with you?
Marty?
Ah!
Marty, if you're hearing this recording, then the DeLorean's automatic retrieval feature is a resounding success.
Automatic retrieval?
In case of my failure to return to the DeLorean within an allotted time, I programmed the time machine to jump to these four-dimensional coordinates without me. As you are well aware, time travel is an inherently risky activity, and despite my elaborate precautions, there's always a possibility that I could land in trouble sometime, and that sometime is now, or then, or maybe later.
He's in trouble.
Marty, you've come to my rescue in the past, or was it the future? Anyway, I'm relying on you to do it again. Please take the DeLorean back, or forward, to whenever it is I'm stuck in time. When you get there, I'm sure you'll figure out what to do.
That's it? Aren't you gonna tell me when that is?
Just go to the date specified on the time circuit readout under the heading marked Last Time Departed. Good luck.
Right. Last time departed. Oh, jeez. Come on. Crap! Oh, great. How am I supposed to find him now? Okay, Doc, I know I haven't seen you in a few months, but I'm pretty sure this isn't your shoe. Looks like the time circuits still work. Now I only need to know when to look for Doc. What kind of trouble is Doc in, Einie? This time-traveling shoe is my only clue to finding Doc. What do you know about this shoe, Einie? Great Scott! I think he's onto something! Okay, now we're getting somewhere. How's this supposed to lead me to Doc, Einie?
I see you sneaking into that liquor store, young man!
What kind of trouble is Doc in, Einie? Why couldn't Doc have invented a dog translator?
Step away from the door!
Ah!
Now, let me get a look at you.
Einstein, come on!
Just as I suspected. Hooligans! Get along now! Scat!
Can you let me in? I've got something to show you.
What is it? Let me see.
After all the trouble I went through getting this thing, there's no way I'm letting it out of my sight.
I haven't got all day. You're trying, my young man.
E. Strickland? You aren't related to, Vice Principal Strickland, are you, ma'am?
Not that it's any of your business, but I'm his sister, Edna. Oh, and you're one of those McFly slackers, aren't ya?
Yes, what's old man Strick? I mean, what else has your brother been saying about me?
Nothing I couldn't have deduced from myself, slacker. State your business, child. You're making me miss Merv.
Well, see, that's the thing. I'm not sure why I'm here. Einstein here brought me, and...
Well?
I'm not a hooligan, ma'am. I'm a teenager.
I wasn't born yesterday, young man. Aren't you the miscreant who skateboards through the town square every morning between 8 and 8:30 in a decidedly unpunctual manner?
Yeah?
All skateboarders are hooligans. It's a fact. Look it up.
Can you let me in? I've got something to show you.
What is it? Let me see.
I don't think that picture's gonna do anything but confuse people.
A shoe? Wow, now what would I want with a... Huh? Stay there! Leave that creature outside!
Sorry, Einstein.
Well, took you long enough.
There's a lot of stairs.
To return the shoe, I mean. I lost it ages ago. You can put it down next to the other one. Much better. So neat and orderly. I suppose you'll be wanting some sort of reward now.
No,
All I've got is tea and candy.
But...
I'm sorry I called you a hooligan. I try not to jump to conclusions, but after all, 9 out of 10 people in this city are hooligans. It's a fact. Look it up. Have a seat, Sonny. Hey! You kids! Put out those cigarettes! Don't touch those! My newspapers are in pristine condition and meticulously organized. Not about to let some street punk get jam all over them. Oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Ms. Pretty Whiskers is very particular about who handles her food.
Einstein brought me that shoe from the past. But when in the past? I can't leave now. Miss Strickland's my only hope of finding Doc. Is that Vice Principal Strickland?
Mother never could keep little Gerald out of her clothes.
Man, she keeps it hot in here.
That's the kettle. I'll be right back with some tea. Then don't touch anything.
Hey, mind if I use your binoculars for a sec?
Go ahead, dear.
Man, these are powerful. I could see Biff going into the video store.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe the filth that boy watches. Yeah, he's nothing but an out-of-control hedonist, just like his father.
If there's a clue to finding Doc out there, I'm not seeing it. I don't even know where to start looking. Miss Strickland?
Jack! Diane! I know what you're doing behind that tree!
Yes? Do you remember when you lost your shoe?
Shoe?
That shoe over there.
Oh, that shoe! Huh. Aye, what a nosy Nelly! No one likes a busybody, you know.
But
Oh, fine, let me think about it. Yes, I remember. I lost it in a scuffle with a dog. Oh, when was it? Oh, yes, the day that speakeasy burned down.
a speakeasy in Hill Valley?
Don't act so surprised, young man. Your generation doesn't hold a copyright on moral depravity, you know. Sin has been on the prowl in Hill Valley since the day it was founded.
What's with all these newspapers?
This is my personal archive. I've got every issue of the Hill Valley Telegraph ever published.
Get out. Every single issue?
From 1871 to the present. If it happened in Hill Valley, you'll find it in my stacks.
I guess somewhere in these stacks there must be an article about the speakeasy burning down.
Naturally. I probably wrote it myself. I was quite a reporter back in the day.
Any idea what date that article came out?
Well, obviously the day after the speakeasy burned down.
I guess somewhere in these stacks there must be an article about the speakeasy burning down.
Naturally. Yeah, I probably wrote it myself. I was quite a reporter back in the day.
Any idea what date that article came out?
Well, obviously the day after the speakeasy burned down.
Doing some stargazing?
No, I set my sights on lower things. Is that? Tannen! Get away from that hubcap before I call your father!
Wow, a speakeasy. That must have been wild. Is it true they used to drink gin out of slippers like my grandma said?
Don't romanticize the past, young man. Prohibition was a time when gangsters ruled the town while honest citizens quaked in their beds.
So where was it? That speakeasy that burned down, I mean.
That was ages ago. If you're looking for bootleg hooch.
No, I'm just curious, that's all. I'm a student of history.
Student of history, my Aunt Fanny. Yeah, your generation of hooligans and slackers could give two ripe figs about history.
Miss Strickland?
Oh, video store!
Huh?
The speakeasy used to be hidden in plain sight down there in the town square. Right where that disgusting videotape rental store squats today.
So the video store building must have gone up after the speakeasy burned down.
The following year, as I recall.
So the video store building must have gone up after the speakeasy burned down.
The following year, as I recall.
So the video store building must have gone up after the speakeasy burned down.
The following year, as I recall.
I guess somewhere in these stacks there must be an article about the speakeasy burning down.
Naturally. Yeah, I probably wrote it myself. I was quite a reporter back in the day.
Any idea what date that article came out?
Well, obviously the day after the speakeasy burned down.
Don't let me keep you from your business.
You there! Don't even think about tossing that Kleenex on the ground! I told you not to touch those! There's the whistle! Surely the water's boiling by now.
Juveniles collide with manure truck. Nice picture. Brown Mansion destroyed. 1962. No, that's not where Doc's stranded. Alright, Einstein brought me this shoe, and Miss Strickland lost the shoe on the day the speakeasy burned down. But when did the speakeasy burn down? I at least need to know the year. Firm announces plans for Lone Pine Mall, Peabody Ranch to be rezoned for commercial development. I don't even know where to start looking for clues in these stacks. Wish I could narrow it down to a year at least. Clint Eastwood plunges to death on runaway train. I don't even know where to start looking for clues in these stacks. Wish I could narrow it down to a year at least. October 28th, 1985. Authorities still mystified by mall shootout. I don't even know where to start looking for clues in these stacks. Wish I could narrow it down to a year at least. October 28th, 1985. Authorities still mystified by mall shootout. I don't even know where to start looking for clues in these stacks. Wish I could narrow it down to a year at least. Rebuilt in February 1932. So the fire must have happened before then. But when? I need a date.
Don't look at me. I'm far too old for you.
Excuse me, Miss Strickland? I guess somewhere in these stacks there must be an article about the speakeasy burning down.
Naturally. Yeah, I probably wrote it myself. I was quite a reporter back in the day.
Any idea what date that article came out?
Well, obviously the day after the speakeasy burned down.
Don't let me keep you from your business. What are these?
My editorial trophies.
Cat Lovers Quarterly.
It's legitimate journalism.
The candy looks older than I am.
There's the whistle. Surely the water's boiling by now.
don't need to fake a tea whistle while she's in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's peculiar. The water still hasn't come to a boil. I told you not to touch those!
I don't think that picture's gonna do anything but confuse people. I don't want to record them right now. I think I'd better save this for Doc.
What's taking that tea?
Miss Strickland, about your tea. You forgot to turn on the...
You! It's spelled with a U! You illiterate vandal!
That tea's never gonna boil. Miss Strickland? Don't let me keep you from your business.
There's the whistle! Surely the water's boiling by now. The polite guest stays out of the host's kitchen, Mr. McFly. That's what you get with these cheap, foreign-made kettles. But trying to find an American one nowadays... Ugh. There's the whistle! Surely the water's boiling by now.
Let's see. Ground broken on site of former speakeasy. Singer vanishes. Hill Valley Expo delights crowd. Soup kitchen exposed. Here we go. Speakeasy arsonist slain. Legal procedure gave way to old-fashioned vengeance last night when a mob descended on the Hill Valley police station. The suspect in the speakeasy arson case, a drifter known as Carl Sagan, was pulled from his... Carl Sagan? It's Doc! Killed by a mob. What's the date? June 14th, 1931. Jeez, I gotta rescue him.
My newspapers!
Sorry, Miss Strickland. Let me...
No! You've gotten my history out of order! Oh, do you know how long it'll take to fix what you've done? Oh, get out! Get out! Get out! Help! Police! I'm being attacked by hooligans!
Marty! Where you been, son? And what are you doing in that getup?
It's, my uniform. Didn't I tell you? I got a job.
At the Model T factory?
Yeah. No.
Never mind, you don't have to explain. I'm sure whatever it is you're up to, you know what you're doing, right?
I hope so.
Hey, sometimes you gotta go out on a limb for the ones you love, right? Wish my dad had understood that. You won't stay away too long.
You'll barely know I was gone. You ready to go, Einstein? Time circuits on. Flux capacitor, fluxy. Okay, if Doc's gonna get killed on June 14th, 1931, I'll just show up the day before and get him out. I hope you know what you're doing, Doc. Ah! Einstein, where'd you go now, boy?
Young man! Excuse me, young man!
Who, me?
You're the only man in the street, and I'm looking for a man-in-the-street reaction. Naturally, you know about the explosion that destroyed this illegal gin establishment.
I read about it, yeah.
What's your opinion of Carl Sagan, the stranger who single-handedly did what the law has been unable to do for 10 long years, namely, rid Hill Valley of the scourge of liquor?
There's gotta be some sort of mistake here. Carl wouldn't do something like that.
It's surprising the lengths a person will go to when it's a clear-cut matter of right and wrong. You've got an honest look about you. You do support the side of righteousness, I trust.
You can mark me down as a supporter.
The young man said, flashing a boyish yet virile grin. Hill Valley needs more upstanding youths like yourself. Do you have a message for the vicious gangsters who still roam these streets, no doubt plotting to corrupt our citizens with another den of booze, sin, and debauchery?
Yeah, tell him, go ahead, make my day.
Make your day what? Never mind. I'll play around with it and see if I can come up with something better. Mr. May I get your name?
Yeah, it's... Sonny Crockett.
Thank you for sharing your candid opinions, Mr. Crockett. Edna Strickland, Hill Valley Herald.
I know. I met you back. I mean, I'm familiar with your work.
You read my column? How sweet! I know it's just an etiquette column, but I believe it'll lead to bigger and better... Oh!
Einstein, no. Down, boy.
Is this wretched creature yours? He assaulted me once before.
What's got into you?
Aggressive dogs must be kept on leash at all times. It's the law. Look it up.
Doc. I gotta find Doc. Hey, can I get some moose?
What does this look like, a hunting lodge?
I'm not so sure I want to stay in a place that welcomes transients. Majestic Arms. Transients welcome. Wow, looks like they used a real shark. I guess this is where the speakeasy burned down. How'd Doc ever get mixed up in that? Where is the jail in 1931 anyway?
You gonna buy anything?
No.
Then get out, bum!
Gale, Zemeckis, and Fine. Attorneys at law. No solicitors. Bank of Italy?
How can I help you, sir?
Without any money, I don't really have any business in there.
McFly!
Biff?
Kid!
Grandpa?
That's Mr. Tannen to you, Artie. What are you doing out here?
Well, I was getting kind of hungry, so I figured I'd come down here for some free soup.
Just thought I'd come down for some soup. Think, McFly. The DA's throwing around subpoenas like Babe Ruth.
I don't think Ruth's a pitcher anymore.
Shut it! If one of those subpoenas landed in the hands of my number cruncher, I'd be in a whole lot of trouble. I could even get sent up the river. You wouldn't want that, would you? Would you?
No, of course not, kid.
All right, that's better. What are you looking at, punk?
Keep your eyes on the soup, kid.
Well,
Well, what?
what are you still doing here?
Sorry, kid. I'll just run back to the safe house.
You do that. And McFly,
Yes?
that hat's too flashy. You better let me hold on to it. Now scram!
You got it, boss.
And don't come out until I give you the all clear. I swear, if even one of you mooks could add 2 + 2 without your fingers, I'd dump that wimp into the lake. Hey, Anyway, I'm off to make myself irresistible. Don't let anyone burn down the shop while I'm gone.
I better not talk to him. I don't want to mess up his timeline. For we were born only yesterday and know nothing, and our days on Earth are but a shadow. Actually, I won't be born for about 40 years. Maybe I should go to the jail and talk to Doc before I start dialing random people in 1931. I can sightsee later. There's no way I'm gonna keep that door open without some help. Okay. Hey, never mind. Nice rack.
Yeah, we got all kinds of culinary enhancements back there.
Looks like these pipes go into the basement.
The kitchen's for management only, rummy.
Whoa! Sisters of Mercy Soup Kitchen. Come for the soup, stay for the salvation. Hill Valley Police Station. Cripes, this place looks old, even for 1931. Doc!
Marty!
Doc!
What are you doing here?
You sent for me, Doc.
I did? When?
May 14th, 1986.
1980? The automatic retrieval system. Of course. I'd almost forgotten about that.
So what's our plan for getting you out of here?
Plan? We don't need a plan.
We don't.
Not in the slightest. The police picked me up for that speakeasy fire a couple of weeks ago, but the DA hasn't got a case. They're releasing me tomorrow morning.
So basically, I traveled 50 years into the past to deliver your car?
Sorry about that, but it's so wonderful to see you. We have a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, you might want to hold off on that, Doc.
Great Scott! I'm going to be gunned down by gangsters on the steps of the courthouse.
Why would they do that?
Guess they didn't approve of my burning down their speakeasy.
Very funny, Doc. Maybe now we should come up with a plan.
A plan? Right. But what?
Why don't I take the DeLorean, go back in time before you were arrested, and stop you from getting caught in the first place?
Don't even think about it. Without my unjust incarceration, the events that sent you into the past might never happen, resulting in a paradox of continuum-shattering proportions.
Jeez, we've been back together for 5 minutes, Doc, and you're already talking about the end of the universe. I've missed that.
Don't be ridiculous, Marty. I was only referring to the end of the universe as we know it.
Why don't we tell the authorities?
Tell them what? That my friend from the future has proof that I'll be murdered tomorrow? They'd ship us both off to the loony bin. And trust me, you don't want to see the inside of a 1931 insane asylum.
Why don't we try to tough it out? Now that we know what's coming, maybe we sneak it past the gangsters with a bulletproof vest or something.
That might work with 1 or 2 bullets, but from the looks of this article, it appears that I'm going to be mowed down in a hail of Tommy gun fire that rendered the innocent stranger little more than a pulpy mass of bones and gristle.
Who writes like that?
According to the byline, one Edna Strickland.
I should have guessed. Hey, maybe I could talk to the gangsters. Tell them they're about to shoot the wrong guy.
I don't think the criminals of this era are going to be very receptive to a complete stranger telling them that their secret assassination plan is misguided, do you?
Well, I suppose I could just get some dynamite and break you out of jail.
No, that's far too dangerous. Not just to me, but to random innocent people in the past. The repercussions could be... That's it!
What's it?
My rocket-powered drill.
You have a rocket-powered drill?
Not yet. I haven't built it yet.
You've lost me, Doc.
Listen, a few months ago, my 17-year-old self sent in a patent application for a rocket-powered drill. I abandoned the project after I never heard back from the patent office, but the prototype should be nearly complete.
Great. I'll just run back to your lab and...
No, I said nearly complete. You'll need me to help you finish it.
How the hell am I supposed to sneak a half-finished rocket-powered drill into your cell?
Not me. 1931 me.
Wait a minute, Doc. You want me to convince your 1931 self to build a rocket-powered drill to break you out of jail?
Precisely.
Won't talking to yourself cause, irreparable damage to the space-time continuum or something?
It should be fine. I've already invented the idea of the rocket drill. You've just got to goad my younger self into finishing the prototype.
How am I supposed to convince your younger self to finish the rocket drill? Just tell him I need to break his older self out of jail?
Absolutely not. Whatever you do, you can't tell my younger self anything about time travel. I won't come up with the inspiration for the flux capacitor for another 24 years.
Then what am I supposed to...
Just be your charming self. From what I remember, I'm a pretty easygoing kid, so enlisting me in a scientific adventure should be a piece of cake.
Okay, let's say I go along with this crazy idea. Where can I find you? I mean, the other you.
How should I know? It was over 50 years ago. Why don't you go over to the soup kitchen next door and give my house a call? They'll know where to find me.
Soup kitchen. Got it.
Just stay away from the soup. It'll cause irreparable damage to your digestive system.
I guess I better get started. Don't worry, Doc. I'll get you out of here in no time.
I'm not worried. Once you and my younger self put your heads together, you'll be unstoppable.